Hello, hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your July 2018 overview reading. This is going to be good for you if you are a Sun, Moon, or Rising Sagittarius. And I do have a second YouTube channel, which is different from this one, but I will talk about it at the end. So if you're interested in more of the psychic stuff and the intuition stuff, then stay tuned until the end for that. And let's go ahead and tune in with our bodies before we get started doing this reading. Just check in with yourself. Do you have anything that's coming up today? Do you have any emotions that are looking for an outlet? Are you feeling tension in the body? Just check in with yourself. Feel into that. Notice the soles of your feet. Notice your sit bones. Okay. So, let's start with Oracle cards. The empowering question for you this month is, what are my most important values? How are they seen in the direction of my life and in my everyday decisions? So, if you feel confused about what it is that you are doing, or if you feel like you're misaligned, go back and feel into your values. What exactly is going on here? What information is there for you in your values that is going to help guide your decisions rather than you acting out of scarcity, old habits, old behavioral patterns? All right, and then we also have nurturing. Keep your inner child nurtured and you will thrive with vitality. Okay, so this is having compassion for yourself as well. Remember that if you're dealing with a little kid, right, a lot of the time you want to lead with compassion because they don't know, or little kids are still learning. And so remember that you're growing and learning as well. And there are certain times when, yeah, you should know better. And then there's also times when it's a better idea to just have some compassion for yourself. So that's really where nurturing is coming in handy for you. And then we also have reflection. That's going to be your word of the month. Take time for deep thoughts. Notice the ripples you create. Softly mirror your truth to the world as you discover it. Okay, so that's a nice message to see coming up. It really is about acknowledgement this month for you. So the central energy is the Page of Chalices. This is really speaking to that inner child, that naivete that children have, that we all kind of admire and want back. That is really what the Page of Chalices reminds us to do, is take that childlike joy, that point in time where your thoughts and belief systems weren't completely jaded, and instead you have this open-mindedness and willingness to see things differently. So that's what this month is going to be about for you. And this is what's in your highest good to release. We have the Hierophant. This is any strict structures and belief systems that are now hindering you. Maybe at one point in time they helped you, but now it looks like they could be holding you back from things that are bigger and better. So be open to changing beliefs. What I mean by that, when I'm saying beliefs, it's not like core parts of the way you think about God or divine source. Not that so much, but more of the things that have been imprinted on you through experience. You want to remember, and letting go of the Hierophant, releasing the Hierophant is part of this. You want to remember that just because you've experienced it in the past does not mean that it is always true. So just watch the always and never statements and take note from the Page of Cups, and just be open to things being different than what your expectation might be. This is what's in your highest good to manifest. You have the Eight of Wands. So let me clarify this. I'm a little bit curious what other information is coming through with this card. the Empress, so more nurturing. I would say that part of the Eight of Wands is about action. It's about movement. But similarly, there's also a level of loving words, kind words, thought processes, things like that are really coming up, and they're shining a light on the parts of you that are still healing or are still in development and under construction. And so you're making a lot of forward movement, but what you want to manifest is the compassion for yourself and for others. I see that as being the key to really moving you forward. So nurturing, compassion, those are things that are going to help shift your mindset in a way that is going to really support you long term, right? Those are the types of skills that you want to build so that you can carry those with you throughout a lifetime, because there are so many circumstances where a fleck of compassion, a fleck of nurturing can do so much good. What's going on in your external world, the circumstances, you have the Four of Pentacles. You might be feeling really scarce. Maybe you're not getting everything that you want in your time, and you feel like your faith is being stretched a little bit. So the Four of Pentacles is kind of a circumstance that makes you want to penny pinch energetically or monetarily. Let me clarify this as well. The Tower, yeah, belief systems. This is almost exclusively, I don't want to say in your head, because everything is in your head, right? But this is really about, it's connected to the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is representative of the limiting beliefs that you've put on yourself. The thing is that you already know, or that you think you know. And the Four of Pentacles is a reflection of that limitation, that ceiling that you've put over yourself. And so the Page of Chalices is trying to get you to open that up a little bit and break through that. This is the internal, the emotional side of things. We have the Six of Pentacles, so reciprocation, reciprocity. I like this card because it always goes back to boundaries. This card pushes you to ask, am I giving too much, or am I not open to receiving? And so if you're giving too much, a lot of the time that results in resentment and even a worse sense of self-worth and self-esteem if you're overgiving and not getting anything in return. And then there's also, if you're not giving enough, then actually you'll manifest less and you'll put a cap on what you can receive, because you're coming from a scarcity mindset by not leading with a certain level of generosity. It's a fine balance. It takes time to strike the right area for you to sit in when it comes to give and take. And that is one of the lessons that's coming through in July, is really about, you know, how much faith can you put into a situation and expect a positive result, or expect, you know, good things to come your way. That in itself takes practice. You're still developing a relationship with Source, and so that is showing up internally. Okay? And for the timeline, this is going to be the first quarter or first week in July. We have the Numinous. This is not equivalent to anything in a 78 card deck. This is actually unique to this tarot deck in particular. So this is about, and you guys know how much I love this message if you've followed me for a while. Leave space for miracles. Leave room for good things to happen, for your belief systems to be challenged. Leave space and energy for positive things to manifest. This is all about leaving a vacancy and allowing it to be filled with something positive. So remember, just because you can't see around every corner doesn't mean it's going to have a negative impact or it's going to be a negative result. It's just about challenging yourself to realize that the world is big. There's a lot of things going on and you don't know everything that's going to happen. So be skeptical of your own knee-jerk reactions and responses. Okay, quarter 2, we have the Star. Let me tell you right now, if you leave some space here, if you do this part and you kind of turn it over and allow yourself to be challenged or see things differently, major things are going to come through for you. So the Star is saying that there's a lot going on behind the scenes that you can't see, and if you let it show up for you, you're going to be pleasantly surprised. So be open to that. And I also want to mention that just because the Star is showing up doesn't mean that this is when it's going to manifest. What the Star reminds you is to keep the faith, that things are working out, and even if you can't see it, you want to hold on to the idea that things are working for you. That's the big thing with the Star. And quarter 3, we have Explorer of Bells. This is feeling the edge of your independence and your personal sense of liberation. I would also venture to say that this is going to be a good time to hang out with people who really make you question your old ways of thinking. So of course you want to do this with trusted people. You don't want to do this with people who are super manipulative or just aren't good for you. You want to do this with somebody who's really good at reflecting and making you think about the deeper issue or what's actually going on beneath the surface, between or underneath the circumstances, underneath the external. And so hang out. It might be good to hang out with an Aquarian friend. If you have any Aquarians or Geminis in particular, that's going to be a good crowd to hang out with because they're going to help you challenge yourself. And wrapping up the month of July, we have the 9 of Tomes. This is the 9 of Pentacles. So again, if you really work on this and you really try to loosen your grip and not fill in all the gaps and not look at everything as, oh, well, I already know how these situations always go. If you find yourself falling into that, you need to check yourself because you're going to manifest exactly what you expect. So make sure that you're staying open, and if you do, the payoff is massive in July. That's one thing that's been showing up for several signs, is that payoff in July is much greater than in other months that I've been reading. So make sure that you are taking this seriously and that you're doing the work. If you do the effort, you're going to get a lot of stuff that you want. So maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a job, maybe it's an opportunity, a new home, whatever the case may be. Whatever circumstances are making you feel scarce or throwing you into a lack mentality, no matter what, you want to challenge those and allow yourself to depend on the unknown for positive outcomes. And we have a 3-card pick, business as usual. Okay, so if you're new to my channel, I put these cards out, but you can do whatever you want with them. If you want a specific question answered, you can designate a card for that, pick before or after, whatever feels right for you, you go ahead and decide. Okay, card number 1, we have beginnings. Okay, you're starting fresh. You have the opportunity to throw out the old playbook and start fresh, start new, start over. So use this to your advantage. It seems like there is going to be a really secure a really secure platform to do this off of, so it looks like a good time to start over and initiate. Okay, and then we have card number 2, mentor. So who are the mentors in your life? The message that's coming up for this is, who do you look up to? Who do you aspire to be like? What information do you have in terms of your mentors and the people that you look up to that are going to support your personal actions? The other thing with this is it's really about the reflection piece. That's big in mentorship, because this is going to help outline and help you feel into the contours of what you need more of and what you need less of and what needs adjusting. So really lean into this process right here. Whether or not you have a mentor doesn't really matter. It's just about, who do you look up to? And card number 3, we have fear. Where is that showing up in your body? Where is fear showing up in your life? What is coming through in terms of your, again, limiting beliefs, those structures that you have within yourself that are trying to keep you safe, for one, but they're also holding you back. So remember that this doesn't really have as much utility as it might when you're a child, or if you are living in a, an area where it, I'm thinking like primally, fear was a really, really useful skill, a useful tool. But now, how is it no longer serving you? And what are you doing with it? Are you buying into it, or are you challenging it? Okay, so that's the big question that you want to ask yourself. All right, so that is all that I have for the reading. Don't forget, if you want to check out my other channel, I am hoping that it becomes a space where I'm going to be able to give more resources for people who are highly sensitive, intuitive, and I can share more of the psychic stuff on that page, as well as just kind of do my own thing. I'm going to leave this channel strictly tarot so that nothing gets muddied, and that's in the description box, as well as I'll put it up on one of the screens here in a moment. And until until then, if you want to work with me one-on-one, all of the links are in the description box. onyxhealing.com is where all of my information is at and everything, so you're welcome to check there if you want to get a reading or anything like that, or you want to work with me. And until next time, have a beautiful July, everybody, and I will talk to you all later. Bye-bye.